Okay, guys, so just for a little quick clip, um, I am going to try to get as many of these tomatoes tied up as possible and try to like lean them away from the peppers because the peppers are getting like yellow leaved and stuff because there's no sunlight going to them. I was able to get a bunch of steaks, and they look really super cute. I think they're aesthetic for me because they match the coloring of the brick, which is cute, against the White House also. So I like the fact that it's slightly aesthetic too. So it kind of worked out in my favor. I did get an old t-shirt and I just cut it into strips, just different sizes and stuff because I don't know how far away the roots are going to be from the stakes. And I don't have a whole lot of stakes, but I have enough to like replace them if I need to like readjust where they're at. But Jeff actually already went ahead and knocked them all into the ground. Like he hammered them down like a foot with a sledgehammer. So the one up front actually has too much weight on it, so I'm going to have to split the plants between two rods. But for right now, this is what we're doing. Let me put the brightness up on my screen so I actually see you guys, because with my sunglasses on and the brightness out here, I can't really see anything. So, yeah. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. I think I'm going to start over here because that's where the sunlight mainly is. I'm going to start over here so this way they can start getting used to the sunlight and stuff. So like I said, I got a bunch of these little stringy things, so I'm just going to tie them up, starting at the base. Try to. I already have this one in a cage. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. This one's already in a cage. It seems to be doing okay since I've transferred the plants from the ground up to the cage. But I do need to cut some of the suckers off the bottom. Same thing for these others. So another thing is too, a lot of these rooted in the ground. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to cut the roots on some of these once I get it up off the ground. See, the splashback ends up damaging the plants, and then the water retention ends up damaging it too, and causing bacteria to grow inside the plant. So I'm gonna try to. I'm very late in the season for this. This is not how you're supposed to do it. I'm just doing whatever I feel I need to at this point in time because I waited so long to do this. So these, the center of these plants are hollow, so you have to be very gentle, and they're also super freaking heavy because I waited so long. But I could get a good grip on this. All right. Another thing that you can do too is put nails in your post to hook the tie on to so it doesn't slide down the pole. So I noticed in the front, a lot of the plant slid down the pole just like that, and that's not what you want. So I'm going to try to clip away all these dead leaves that have been sitting underneath too. You want to be careful not to take away too many because you could put the plant in shock. The main thing is to get it up off the ground. That's the main thing, is to make sure that it's not laying on the ground, collecting bacteria, getting splashed back up underneath the leaves so you can't have them growing. The sunlight loss, as well as moisture buildup, it just kills the plant very quickly. So you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. And like I said, I'm gonna have to come back and like clip a bunch of this because A, it's all tangled. So it's not gonna grow if it's all tangled, especially if it's matted like this where the leaves are on top of each other in a bunch. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna have to come back and like re-tie up some of these areas too as it grows. You know, you're gonna want to bring them up. So. You want to keep it kind of loose so this way the plant can continue to grow and move as much as possible naturally. Just like anything, you all need support sometimes. Around each other too, so they support themselves. Helps. And so there's one. Now, because these two are so far apart from each other, and I have a bunch of plants in this general area, I'm gonna have to like part them and put them to separate poles. So, some more of that. Goes that way and this way. It should be alright. There goes another one. Every snap you hear feels like a snapping of a bone. Jesus, this is what happens when you wait too long to do stuff. Ah, shit. I should have done a while ago. I just got that whole top part off. Procrastination ends up costing you more in the long run, especially when it comes to gardening. Try to do this when you're still young and learn from my mistakes, okay? That's the whole point of life in general, is we're supposed to be learning from each other as much as possible. And like I said, Greta, I'm pretty sure that now, at first, this is going to look like a bunched up mess of ridiculousness because that's how I work, right? Chaos theory. Oh, nice long one. Now, this might be a little bit too conglomerated. I'm not sure yet. I want to have airflow still pretty well. And again, you know, I want to make sure that they're supported when the weight comes of all the actual tomatoes come through. like I said, I'm gonna have to go back and like clip a bunch of these and clip the roots off. But you know what? Like I said, this is all a learning process. And it's okay to start from zero and not have any idea what the hell you're doing. It's okay. It's how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to learn and grow and create new neural pathways. I'm trying to get this done before it gets too ridiculously hot. Okay, so I'm going to move over to this section now. This plant goes over here. And it'll adjust itself for the most part. Now, don't get me wrong, you are going to have some loss, especially because of the fact that I waited so long to do this in the first place. So I know that I'm going to have loss, but I'll be honest with you, the amount of freaking tomato plants that I have in this yard right now is exponential compared to what I thought it was going to be. So, being glad in the abundance, right? Because that's what we asked for. We asked for abundance, so this way we could bless other people. And that was the point. So, no better to be able to bless other people than to share your own shit, right? Not too tight, but not too. Maybe I use that for one of the other ones. It's bigger. One more up top, it's a little smaller. Should be okay for right now. Alright, I'm gonna move on to the next. this one right here was actually getting sun bleached because it was right here up against the concrete, but it didn't have any shade. So I'm kind of glad that we're doing this because now this one will not be as sun bleached. And I do have some volunteers in here too. Just kind of showed up out of nowhere. It is going to take a couple of days for this to readjust, especially, you know, now it's got to send the energy up instead of out. So there. Whew, it's getting hot. Should be good for it as far as that one goes. I do need to clip a bunch of these. lot of the base here. Whew. Lord, it's rice to toasty out here. Well, I'm down to 2 strings. Let's make magic happen, right? I'm gonna need 2 sticks. But that does get a bunch of it up off the floor, off the ground area. So yeah, I think that's good for right now. That's just good. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I also have a bunch of seeds that I'm going to be putting in place of the empty spots in the garden. And I do need to put stakes over here too. Those are the containers for the plant sale. I cut the bottoms off and use that instead of pots. And that's just scrap that I need to figure out something with. Those are bigger branches that broke off the tomato plants. But yeah, I got them tied up now, so we'll see how this goes. I did notice that when I tied this plant up into the cage, it's almost like it stopped producing. So I'm wondering, is it going to shock these to that point also, or are these going to do okay? So we'll see how that goes. Hello, butterfly. And we'll kind of go from there. Sunflowers are doing freaking amazing, though. They're almost dried out now. The corn's doing pretty good. I already have ears of corn. And they're doing construction all in my front fucking yard. So, yay fun, right? We'll see how those do. And we'll kind of come back to it because there's not much that I can do. The city of ridiculousness is out here, if you can tell. But But I got these plants out here now all tied up and stuff. So those are doing pretty darn good so far since I tied them up, except for this first one that kind of fell flat. But other than that, they're doing pretty good. So hope y'all are having a good day. See you when I see you.